guys, good morning. I hope everybody's doing great. Um, so I wanted to come while everything is still fresh in my head. It was so glad. It was so glad. I was so glad. It actually worked out. It was good that I ended up having to record the video in parts because man, that was emotional for me. But it's all good. I'm a big girl. It's like tears of gratitude for sure. Um, so we are gonna pick right up after his heart surgery, right? So we get to the hospital that time, and this was probably like a week before Christmas. It was like the 17th or the 16th. Anyway, they did his surgery, his heart surgery, y'all. I have never held my breath for so long. This was the first time that I've like actually cried. Well, that I can remember that crying like tears of relief, like so, like they rolled him out, and you're waiting in this waiting room with a whole bunch of families that are going through the same horrible thing you are going through. And they rolled him through the hallway. Well, we were waiting. Of course, they were giving us updates via the phone that's in there. We were waiting. They rolled the kid through, and I just see him, and they say it went really well, and just, like, it was just automatic gratitude and relief, right? And like I said, so they had said, of course, they knew about the one hole, but it turned out to be three. And then putting that in perspective, I don't have my little bottle here with me, but the size of a newborn's fist is the size of their heart. So imagine having a nickel-sized hole and two dime-sized holes, or is it two nickels and a dime? Either way, that's a lot of area in a little newborn's heart. So it was crazy. It was a crazy, crazy time. There's a lot to deal with. Even prior to that, they had been trying to get me to go to this support group because I was pretty much a walking zombie, except for when I was with my baby. Um, Pretty much a walking zombie. I was just thinking about that this morning. Like I don't remember really having contact with friends except for Courtney. That's pretty much it. Like I was going through it, y'all. I was going through it, and so after his heart surgery, OMG. So like that's got to be one of the most fulfilling and rewarding jobs is cardiology because when I tell you that after this surgery, right, I'm thinking, okay, heart surgery, that's made this week a fool, ain't it? That's okay, y'all. I'm gonna take care of it eventually. Um, Anyway, so I kept thinking, okay, heart surgery, that's major. Cha! Didn't know we were home in 3 days. 3 days, y'all. This kid, he was like a new kid. His color changed, like he wasn't as pale. Um, and that's like a sign of that. He wasn't as pale. He was alert. He was actively moving again. Like it was just I don't even not it was a complete 180 and it was amazing and it was quick recovery and we got home right before Christmas. That was awesome. But still, we're still nursing this the GI issues, the gastrointestinal issues. And so um I just remember on Christmas him having on his beautiful white fuzzy onesie that said "My First Christmas." We were at Angie's house, and y'all, it wasn't even the bag because I was mastering the bag, so I kind of learned how to work with that pretty well and pretty easily. Not easily because the thing leaks and you have to learn to work with the tape around it, and then the tape irritates the kid's skin. So you have all these other little protective products that 3M makes. Like, oh my gosh, it was a lot. It was a lot. But on this particular day, Christmas Day, I remember getting to her house and him just exploding, like green poop everywhere. Like it was off the chain. I don't know if we were there or leaving or had just left or just gotten there. Either way, like his poop was off the chain, and so of course his stomach is still recovering. We're still trying to see, figure out the best formula for him. We did Nutramigen. We did, of course, Similac, Enfamil, all these different types. I think we ended up staying on Nutramigen. We did soy. We did almond. Like we did. So we tried some of everything. His pediatrician, Dr. Gonzalez, was really, really, really amazing. And she was all about that kid, and I know she learned a lot from him as well. Because when I tell you, he ended up getting some of everything because his immune system was really weird, and I think that having had such a major bowel surgery, I think that it took his body a long time to adjust as far as like bacteria levels and things like that balance out, like for his body to return to a homeostatic state, to homeostasis. Like I'd say it was years. It was years. But we got home that Christmas, and I called the doctor because his poop was off the chain. She said, sounds like he may have picked up an infection at the hospital. So we go back to the hospital, and that's right. They diagnosed him with gastroenteritis. Turns out that the hospital is one of the nastiest places ever. So, even there it's not safe. So it's crazy because this was my life, y'all. Like this was our life. I'm so glad that he is so resilient. But we would go to the hospital for an illness, stay for a day or two, check out, and have to come back like the next day or the next day because this other infection has developed as a result of this bug or something like that. We did rotavirus, like we had some of everything. I remember being in the hospital with him, tonsillectomy, adenoidectomy. They ended up removing those things because he was on the CPAP machine to help him breathe. His apnea had gotten so off the chain. When they went to remove his tonsils and adenoids, they said his airway was obstructed like 78%. So he had been working really hard. That's been a long time. We probably need to get that checked again. Because did you know those things can grow back? It's muscle tissue. It's tissue. They grow back. So we'll probably need to get those checked eventually. But it's been a good 10 years now. So yeah, there's that. There is, again, on top of all of this, in and out of the hospital, there's still cognitive therapy. There's still occupational therapy. There's still speech therapy. Even speech, you think, what the heck can they teach a 1-month-old or 2-3 month? Y'all, it was amazing because babies mimic us. And so I think it just kind of made him more conscious of his mouth and how it moves. If you have a child with Down syndrome, they have that tongue that kind of protrudes. So I remember he didn't start walking till I guess he was like a day before 2. He was about to be 2 in like a week. Y'all, I developed such a relationship with his therapist. The library again was on and popping back in the day, y'all. For me especially. And I would just be in there reading, and texting her questions, and she'd call me like, hey, get out. Like, leave now. Like, I'm in the library finding out things, learning things, calling her crying. She's like, go home, leave the library. Like, y'all, I was trying to stay informed because I just feel like information just kind of eradicates fear, of the unknown. It won't, if you're afraid, it won't be because you don't know what's about to happen. You know what I mean? So I was just trying to control the situation. That's probably where that shadow developed in me as well. Something that I'm still working on and learning to let go of the outcome. But like life conditioned me to be that way. So yeah, working through that. Um, but yeah, so we did that for a lot. Like it was just a lot. Ear tubes. He had to be sedated, of course, because of their tiny ear canals that can usually get intense. Um, so they have to sedate him for that. Tooth cleaning. They have to sedate them for that. It's so much more than people would know, right? It's so much more than people would know. The amount of times that I asked myself, why? It took so long for me to come to the realization. And this was through the help of a whole bunch of different people. Pastor Reed, Pastor Smith, um, just growth and self-discovery on my own also, that, you know, everything that we go through is going to be a lesson or a blessing, right? This was lesson after lesson after lesson. Lesson for me, lesson for you. I think his being, period, just made me more compassionate. I'm prepared today, y'all. I got me a good little fresh towel. We won't be tearing up no paper towels, but I ain't trying to do a whole bunch of crying. So we're going to put that emotion on the back burner. Probably not. I'm me. But yeah, so you got all these things to work through on top of being present and smiling and optimistic for your kid. Like, I'm so glad and grateful. I really think that the boy's an angel. As much as I am here to take care of him, he was definitely sent to help me in this world, and in doing my part, I have to share his story. Like I said, for so long, I was so mad at God, and I wasn't praying. But the way that this boy came through the things that he came through, and is resiliently singing in the shower right now. Yeah, he just got up. We'll talk about that another time. Had to wake him up with a dance, but the way that his resilience is a testament. You could never pay me to say that there is no God. He may not come in the package that you think he is in. He may not be wrapped up in the religions that cause so much division in us and cause us to argue, and that exclude the people that need God the most. He may not come in the packages that you expect to see him in, but he's in situations like this. He's in situations where miracles happen. He's in situations where tumors disappear and doctors can't explain it. Whew! He's in situations that get you into places that logically you should not be. If you look at the papers, he is in situations that you boldly walk out of and trust him for your provision, and he constantly and continues to provide at the same level. He is everywhere. He's in that person that walked by you and told you what a beautiful smile you had when you were feeling your lowest. He's in that person. He's in that stray puppy that walked past you that made you smile for the first time in a week. Yeah. So God is everywhere. You could not pay me to say or do anything differently. So whatever it is that you are going through, know that whatever it is, I'm not gonna say it's all gonna work out. It is gonna all work out for what one way or the other, right? We just have to learn to look for what it is we're supposed to get from the situation. I'm so much better for him. I remember being at the doctor's office one time when he was younger, and he's always been a ray of light, even when he wasn't feeling well. Um, Parents, I know you guys know, especially if you get used to going to the doctor all the time. These babies are traumatized when they're going through it. Like, he would see a white lab coat and just shrink or cling for dear life to me. So much so that his pediatrician stopped wearing her coat when he would come, because yeah, she just to make it comfortable for him. But these little things that occur, that you just make it through. You make it through. It's a lesson for it in everything. There's learning in everything, and life is supposed to be great, and God would want you to have fun and enjoy yourself and your time here on this earth. He wants that for us. I think that's a misbelief. People think that God wants you to struggle and to fight for and forge ahead. Some people's paths that may be, because they're going to be the examples, but God does not want you to struggle, and we add to our struggle because we turn our backs on him, or we choose to not pray, or we choose to not look for the good, or we choose to not think positively. And I say choose, it is a choice, but it's a conscious choice, but it's also understandable because we are human. So that's part of our pruning, that's part of our strengthening, that's part of our learning, right? Anyway, so if you know the parent of somebody, of a special needs kid, or of a kid who has a medical history that could probably match or surpass your granny's, like by the time he was 3, he was already on a super stack. And I had everything written down, y'all, so nicely with dates and every little thing. And this doctor, one visit we had an extended stay at Methodist Medical Center for like a month, because he was just getting sicker and sicker. Turned out to be a kidney infection. Well, child, that's long and traumatic. We're not going to talk about it. There was some CPS involvement. Doctor had to tell them, like, this kid's bowels are just not functioning. Nobody's starving him. Like, that's the kind of shit that had to go on in the background. But like I said, you see, I got a little tense with that. We're not going to talk about that. Mistakes, and moved on. But yeah, it's a lot. So like I was saying, if you know a parent, like, just feel free to reach out and hug them every now and then. Because I think about that time when I was going through a lot, and God will isolate you as you need to be isolated. So it's it had to have been for the best. It was what it was. But I don't remember having like real friends at that time. I wasn't in touch with them anyway. Just very, very few, a couple, maybe 3, maybe. That's a strong maybe, unless I was able to get out of the house every now and then. I remember turning 22 at the hospital. We were living at the hospital with Gabriel, or 23. Lots of birthdays at Children's Medical Center. We were living there. Shout out to them, though, because they just were amazing, and they did amazing things. And I'm grateful for the pain and the lessons and the involvement and the revelation of purpose. You hear me? Revelation of purpose. Yeah. So I would be remiss not to give credit to God, because it has to have been all him, y'all. I have been depressed. I have been suicidal. Like, thank you, Lord, for resilience. Yeah. But here we are, still standing, still forging ahead. No cardiology issues. His heart is probably stronger than ours. I'll never forget this. The doctor said one of the holes they filled with Teflon. Teflon, y'all? Wow. Perspective, right? Teflon in his heart. Yeah. He was built for this. Maybe I was about to say Ford Tough. But yeah, so Anyway, so I just want you guys to be encouraged. You just never know. There's so many lessons in it. You never know what people are going through behind the scenes. You think you know, and you have no idea. The source of my stress. A lot of times during that time, the source of my stress was also my biggest help. Like a major source of my stress was also my biggest help. So that's how I mean to say that. So like you just never know what's going on with people and behind the scenes. So it's so important to be kind, but it's also important to be understanding and compassionate and to put yourself in other people's shoes. Um, yeah. See, and I got all that from Gabe. I got all that from Gabe. from living with him, from growing with him, from learning from him, from interacting with other families of children like him, or and not even who have Down syndrome, who are just having a tough time from a medical standpoint. So just know that you are loved, and I stand with you. If you need an ear or you want to share something about your experience or your blessing, I would love for you to do that on this video or any other video on my page. Um, I think that it is so important for us to know that we're never alone, and to realize how much like the next person we are. We are so connected, right? So we should all be a lot more loving, right? Anyway, I'm gonna go dry my face, my eyes, and fix my makeup and get my day started. Give me 6 feet. She goofy. Y'all have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and thumbs up the video, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to keep it coming. I'm glad that I finally got to share a little bit with you about Gabriel's journey. Don't forget that they said that he probably would never read. Shout out to Miss Joni at Rugal Elementary. Baby, he read. Shout out to my friend at the time, Courtney, for sight words that we had plastered all over this not this house, thank God, our old house. Y'all, we had to walk away from that old energy, our old apartment or whatever, that was there for years, sight words. So whenever he's using something, he'll know how to recognize the word at least. Anyway, he did read. He started reading in second grade. She sent me a video. One of the best things I've ever received. And it just, whew, again, nobody will ever be able to tell me what's not possible. Never. So, got that from Gabe too. Y'all have a good one.